Thanks for joining us on CoreTV News this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Chief Justice of Nigeria Mahmoud Mohammed has sworn in chairman and members of the Election Petition Tribunals ahead of the 2015 general elections. Now, this is in demonstration of the readiness of the judiciary for the task of determining petitions arising from the forthcoming election. Speaking at the ceremony, Justice Mohammed urged the tribunal members to do their job without fear or favor. 242 judges in all were sworn as chairmen and members of tribunals for the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The police authorities are to deploy officers of the special force to protect electoral officials and materials during and after the February elections. Inspector General of Police Sulaiman Abba has directed the unit, which comprises officers and men of Special Protection Unit and the Counter-Terrorism Unit, to mobilize for deployment. Police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu said in a statement that the IG passed on the message at the briefing with senior officers in Abuja. He added that the directive demonstrates the readiness and resolve of the police force to ensure hitch-free and credible general elections. Ojukwu also noted that some of the strategies put in place by the police high command are already being implemented. And as Nigerians get set for the 2015 February elections, the resident electoral commissioner in Lagos, Akin Orebiyi, has appealed to Lagosians to go out now and collect their permanent voter cards. Orebiyi made this known to journalists after a closed-door meeting with Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola at the State House in Ikeja. He says INEC has concluded plans to ensure that all eligible voters are not disenfranchised during the poll.
What we've done is to make arrangements locally to ensure that the cards are available for collection at the various polling units across the state. Our appeal to Lagosians who have not collected theirs and who did register either in 2011 or last year, 2014, is now to come out to collect their cards. They are now as closest as they can be made available to them at their various homes near where they're going to vote, or exactly where they're going to vote on election days. So we urge them to find the time to also come out to collect the cards. We're also appealing at this moment to the Lagos State government to help us consider maybe declaring a public holiday on Friday or so, to also enable people who are busy with work to come out and collect these cards.
Even with the extension of the collection of permanent voter cards across the nation by 8 days, the hope of some eligible voters in your state remains dim, saying the entire process is unnecessarily tedious and shoddy, while expressing their fears of being disenfranchised for an election which is only a matter of days from now. Regardless of the situation, the residents, however, say the elections should not be postponed on any ground. Omotayo Alo has details.
Ibadan residents have decried the continuous permanent voter cards distribution in the state as a product of ill preparation, while expressing fears of disenfranchisement.
Since last month I have been going, they tell me that I have to re-register. When I asked them where, they will say there is no machine to register me. They told me that I should wait until government decides what they are going to do. My name is not in the voters something and it's not there. And this is the card I got 2011.
Out of 100 people, 80% may not have a voters card, which is wrong. And we are supposed to vote. But they said Professor Jigawa say he's not going to allow the temporary one to be used unless we collect the original one. Well, with the original one, it's not yet collected.
And Ibadan North electoral officer Shegun Olukunle, who served as an agent to redirect people to the specific centers where they can get their cards, pleaded that people should exercise more patience, adding that only voters with the permanent voter cards will be allowed to vote.
Yeah, we're trying our best. The delay may be from the headquarters, Abuja, but we're just trying our best. INEC are trying their best to see that everybody got his own PVC.
For this resident, Olaiwola Philip, who just got his PVC, and Inolaji Olorude, who is still hoping to get his card, both say the election should not be postponed on any grounds, adding that it would not go down well with citizens.
It is very, very better that the federal government and state government should mandate it to give people holiday, probably 2 days, and they mandate them to work at weekends. So elections should not be shifted. We are unable to vote in Nigeria.
What is the evidence that even if they postpone the election, those that were unable to get their voters' card today will be able to get theirs later? So it's a gimmicks.
Even with the uncomfortable situation in collecting the card, many still say they are undaunted and will do their best to ensure that they exercise their civic rights. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
A recent survey conducted for ANAP Foundation by NOI polls on Lagos state governorship election is predicting a tight race between All Progressives Congress Akinwumi Ambode and the PDP's Jimi Agbaje. It shows a marginal 5% point lead for Ambode, with 25% of surveyed respondents pitching their tents with him. The results of the poll released in Abuja indicates 21% of them are showing a presence for Agbaje. He however noted 50% of those polls are undecided on their choice of candidate with a few weeks to the February 28 election. The survey results also show that both candidates have strong support from eligible voters across all age groups. With the general elections gradually drawing near and the various parties continuing with their campaigns, a former governor of Lagos State, Bola Tinubu, says the PDP's governorship candidate in Lagos, Jimi Agbaje, is not competent to be governor of the state. Tinubu is also the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, says APC's Akinwumi Ambode is the right man for the job. He made this known at the party's mega rally in Ojo. Kazim Kasali's report is presented from our studios.
With the music of Fuji King Wasiu Ayinde Marshal welcoming him, national leader of the All Progressive Congress, Bola Tinubu, thanked the people of Ojo for their support over the years, disclosing that it is the support from the people that he has not taken for granted by being in Lagos when other leaders are in Yola for the party's presidential campaign. On the governorship election in Lagos, Tinubu says the candidate of the PDP, Jimi Agbaje, is not competent for the job, having worked at close quarters with all the dramatis personae. He says that was why Fashola was chosen ahead of him in 2007. He added that anyone who cannot grow the business beyond a shop is not fit to be governor of Lagos.
He wanted to be governor. Obaje, he opposed and ran with Tunde Fashola. When we defeated him in primary, we said, you need training. We can train you in Senate, or we train you as a deputy governor. But you are not in a adequate yet, demonstrate intellectual curiosity and capacity to do the job.
For his part, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola says the forthcoming general elections is a vote between continuing with prosperity in Lagos and changing the misery at the federal level, urging people to vote for prosperity.
The issue here is not about religion. It is not about ethnic group. It is not about the language you speak. It is about prosperity and poverty. Poverty has no religion. It affects both faiths. All rules do not discriminate against faith. When there is poverty and illness, it does not discriminate against any religion. The work of government is to reduce poverty and promote prosperity. For 16 years, at the federal government level, has PDP done that?
Lagos APC governorship candidate Akiwumi Ambode says he will continue with the process of opening up the Badagry division that has been started by Tinubu and Fashola.
They've been asking, they say, who's the APC candidate? Because you see, that's their challenge. This is a game of tradition of excellence. All the people that support us are the people that have always loved Lagos and do their best for Lagos. That's why we are proud of all our leaders. That's why we are proud of all our governors. They stand by excellence. They are not proud to show their own president or to show any PDP candidate that has done very well. But I'm very proud of my leaders because they've done excellently well. And I want to continue in that tradition of excellence of which Lagos is known for. What I assure you, and I promise you, we will keep Lagos working.
But while retailers took advantage of the massive crowd to make brisk business and people gathered continue to listen and revel in the messages, this happened.
To the podium.
Many people took to their heels, but order was immediately restored and the campaign continued without further incident.
The Lagos PDP campaign train has now moved to Lagos Island in preparation for the February 28th gubernatorial election. Oluwaseyi Adegoke was at the small campus square in Lagos, venue of the campaign.
Despite the scorching sun, the people of Lagos Island trooped out to welcome the Lagos PDP governorship candidate, Jimmy Agbaje. Former Minister for State Defense, Musiliu Obanikoro, says Jimmy Agbaje is the right choice for a greater Lagos.
You can only rely on someone you trust. We have given them an opportunity for 16 years to serve us. They have failed us.
Lagos PDP leader Bode George berets the present administration, saying it is inhuman and unfair to the people of Lagos State.
The most important thing is the human being. The only thing that is missing in our government in Lagos is that they are inhuman. How can you have a man who came in Bole Kaja with rubber slippers because of the love, because of the accommodating nature of Lagosians? We accepted everybody. What had he done when our Baba trusted him? He has appropriated all the assets of Lagos State. What will, for me now, what else am I looking for? But as long as I breathe, we will make sure that all the assets of this government in Lagos will be returned to the people. Yes, sir. The people. Yes, sir. To the people. Will be returned to the people.
Jimmy Agbaje, the Lagos PDP governorship candidate, assures the people of gaining all what they have lost to the present administration if he is voted for at the polls.
What appointments are to be made? When you are talking about market women leader, there's a deliberate attempt to make sure that our markets are run and governed by people who do not know where Lagos is coming from. When you look at our Lagos, all the assets of Lagos are being taken over in the name of public enterprise and given to private pockets. You know, I have no fear. As far as those assets are concerned, I have no fear that we will take them back.
The Lagos PDP urged the people to vote for Jimmy Agbaje as he is the only person that can liberate Lagosians. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
The presidential flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, has promised to put the nation's economy right back on track if elected during the February 14 poll. Buhari said this at an interactive session with the members of the organized private sector. Abiola Oluwole was at the State House Marina venue of the meeting. His report was presented from our studios.
The essence of the meeting, according to a presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Muhammadu Buhari, is to give an insight into the manifestos of the party to the members of the operators of the private sectors. Speaking on the plans to revitalize the Nigerian economy if elected, Buhari says tackling insecurity, corruption, and ensuring stable power supply will be the first on his agenda during his administration.
Our studies show that we will require no less than 200,000 trained personnel to support the initiative to provide power and light of Nigeria. Apart from the inherent direct employment that this will give, the reduction in cost production, the saving from self-generation by Nigerians who currently spend a lot of their income on purchase of diesel and petrol to generate their own electricity to reduce the burden on their disposable income.
Buhari would decry the inability of Nigeria to have a functioning refinery, called on the federal government to publish the forensic report on the missing $20 billion. He says such funds, if available, will have been used to assist in building needed infrastructure for the country.
$20 billion at 210 naira to the dollar is equal to 4.2 trillion, nearly a year's federal budget. It is true that this sum cannot be accounted for. This is grotesque form of corruption.
For his stake, Governor Fashola says voting out the opposition party remains the only way of changing the future of the country to make it a better one.
The transformation that has been put forth has headed south, not north. The naira has weakened, interest rates have skyrocketed, and it is for us to choose whether we want 4 more years of that.
As political gladiators continue to seek the support of the electorates ahead the February polls, all what Nigerians are waiting for is a violent, free and fair elections.
President Goodluck Jonathan has received the report of the forensic audit of the Nigerian National Petroleum Commission (NNPC) from representatives of PricewaterhouseCoopers. The audit was ordered in the aftermath of claims by the then Central Bank Governor Lamido Sanusi that $20 billion was missing from the nation coffers. The report was submitted by the country's senior partner of the audit firm, Uya Pata, at a brief ceremony witnessed by the Auditor General of the Federation.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. My name again is Uyi Akpata, the country's senior partner of PricewaterhouseCoopers in Nigeria. It's a privilege for us to have conducted this exercise on behalf of government, and I hope you will find it useful, as I said, in undertaking the continuous reforms in the petroleum industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and the Attorney General of the Federation, thank you. There's been so much of controversies over this NNPC and leakages or no leakages. The National Assembly have looked into it. I remember the Senate has also looked into it. They also used professionals to look into it. And whatever we get the reports, what appears in the papers from calculations is very high. Figures that I can't even imagine that the country will earn that kind of money. It's been branded on the newspapers, so I'm quite pleased that you've taken a forensic audit of this. It's voluminous, and I will give it to the professional because that's how the government works. There are statutory, people that have the statutory responsibilities to handle such assignments, and who is the Editor General of the Federation. So you will look, the General will look at it, and at least within the week, let us get the key highlights, because the media will want to know the key findings, vis-a-vis the Senate findings, and the figures being branded in the newspaper, because Nigerians must be interested. He did mention the issue of the reform in the sector. Everybody knows that the sector needs to be reformed, and I believe that by the time we go through the petroleum industry bill and make it into a law, most of these lapses will be correct. Thank you. Attorney General, thank you. Okay.
We'll take a break now and we'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emoten of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
I see you as a way, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on CoreTV News.
Welcome back. You can also get all of our top stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handle is at CoreTV News NG, and we're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV with a space and news. Moving on now, a car bomb went off near the venue of President Goodluck Jonathan's campaign rally in Gombe State. Eyewitnesses say the explosion occurred a few minutes after the rally was addressed by Mr. President. Nigerian government officials have confirmed the blast but say it's too early to know the casualty figure.
We got confirmation that there was actually a blast at the Waterboard Junction in Gombe town. The incident took place soon after the president and his entourage had left the stadium in Gombe. Casualty figures are still being ascertained. It just happened. What do you do? Who is standing there to count the number of people affected? So in another, this is an incident that just happened. Another 30 minutes, 1 hour, like those ones, you will get. We have always given you figures here. But these that involve a large number of persons and is a combat in combat, I will not be in a hurry to mislead the press.
Outside Nigeria now, an audio message purportedly from a Japanese journalist being held by Islamic State militant says a Jordanian Air Force pilot also captured by the group would be killed unless an Iraqi female prisoner in Jordan was released by sunset on Thursday. The message appeared to postpone a previous deadline set on Tuesday, in which the journalist Kenji Goto said he would be killed within 24 hours if the Iraqi was not freed. The latest audio recording, which could not be verified by Reuters, was posted on YouTube early on Thursday. Japanese Chief Cabinet Secretary Yashido Suga told a news conference that chances were high it was Goto's voice in the recording. The audio tape message implied that the Jordanian pilot would not be part of the exchange deal, indicating any swap could be between Goto, a veteran war reporter, and al-Rishawi. Any swap that left out the pilot would not go down well with the public in Jordan, where officials have insisted is their priority. There was no immediate comment from Jordanian government officials, but the security officials said
we have been in a close touch with Keiji Goto's wife, but I cannot reveal the content of our conversations. Our first priority is Mr. Goto's release, and we have been requesting Jordan's help. I want to say that we are still in a close contact, and that we have a relationship of trust.
信頼関係にあると、そこは申し上げたいというふうに思います。
That wraps it on CoreTV News this hour. Join us again at the top of the hour for more stories. I'm Nifemi Oguntoye. Thanks for being there.